Hey Vivian, I think I figured out what's going on here, and I wanted to go over it with you so that if you were trying to do more things, you would feel more comfortable in the advice that I was trying to give you. But I don't know if I can be clear at this hour of the night, and my air conditioner is on, so I apologize for the extra background noise. I don't have any way to get rid of that. It's too hot in here for me to turn it off. Okay, so here's your PowerPoint. And so one problem that we've got is that there's this comment thing, and I'm not sure how that got on there, but we just need to turn that off. And I see it in the first one. It's not in the second one, but it is in the third one. So I'm going to try to work with this. This third one is difficult, but I'm going to try to work with it. So we need to get rid of these comments, and I think all we need to do is right click on here and tell it to delete the comment. And I think people use that when they're sharing work and they're making comments on what each other did, etc., etc. So what I figured out was when I click on this and I look up here and I see shape format toolbar, picture format toolbar, and then something called equation. I couldn't figure out what that was, but that equation is what is messing us up. And it finally dawned on me that it's the plus sign. So what we need to do is get rid of this plus sign, and that's my fault because I used it online, but here in PowerPoint, it wants to make it a a mathematical thing that you're supposed to insert some kind of an equation. So I'm just going to substitute ampersand in there, and then I'll make this a little smaller for right now. One thing we should do on these text boxes, I'm going in the wrong direction, is to make like this top one, make that its own text box and this bottom one its own text box. So I'm gonna cut this information out of here, and then I'm gonna use the backspace button. I'm not sure exactly why I'm telling you this. I just know that it works better and it's easier to control it, and you never have to worry about then the text boxes overlapping your image. So I will just add a new text box in here in the bottom area and see if I can paste that. Here, I'll center it, see if I can paste that in. And it's coming in too small, but we'll see if we can get it to do what it was before. I guess it was something like that. We'll stretch this text box out. For some reason, the YouTube thing is acting funny, the words YouTube. I'm not sure if that's two different fonts or what. I'll tell you what, let's get rid of that. When something goes wrong, I found with anything Microsoft, it's better to just start over again. So I will stop being lazy and draw a new text box in here and then set my font to white so I can see it, center it, and I'll pump this up a little bit and just type the information in here, so short, Zoom, and YouTube. Okay, and now I can select the box and select the text box and make it bold so it's a little bit bigger, and make that a little bit bigger too. Another thing you can do to make this pop, especially when you have white text on some kind of background that it doesn't show up that well on, is to select the text and add a shadow. And up here on the font menu, this S stands for text shadow. So as soon as you do that, you'll see that the letters pop out. It almost looks like it's a brighter color. And I'll do the same thing with that up here too, because that's really going to help it. So now it looks really nice. And I think what we don't need, I don't think we need this apostrophe because it's not really the possessive case. You're using legislators as a way to modify the forecast. Okay, so I don't think that you need that apostrophe, and that would just be one legislator where we might have more than one or at least some staff. So now we've got a text box, and an image, right? And so I'm not sure if this is still grouped. Let's go up and look at picture format. Let's look at, it says ungroup, so it still should be grouped. But of course this isn't grouped because I added this in here. So I'm going to select everything and I'm going to go to picture format and tell it to ungroup itself. That way everything is ungrouped. And then I'll go back and tell it to group it. So now I got three things, two text boxes and an image that I'm grouping. Okay, so we can move it around. We're in good shape. We should be able to save it on out of here. So when I right click on here, you have to be careful that when you right click, you don't right click on one of these guys and select it inadvertently. That way you won't get the save as picture. So be sure that when you are right clicking on it, you've got just the white handles around the image because that's the delineating the group. And see, you can even group from here, but I always forget to do it that way. And then save as picture. So I'm going to go ahead and save this as picture one. I'm not saving it in a very good place, but I don't think I have anything else named picture one in picture. So I'll just save it there and let me go try to open it up in my image editing software. I'll go to open pictures and then go down to look for picture one. There it is. Open. And it looks like everything came in almost the way we intended it. Somehow it made this text box a little smaller. So it doesn't look exactly like it does in PowerPoint, but then the image is really, really huge here. This is 35%, 1754 by 1801 pixels. That's a pretty huge picture. The biggest you probably want to make it ever is like 1200 or 1000 pixels wide. So that doesn't help it, but it does look a little clearer. So that's still really huge, but it doesn't matter. Whatever you insert it into, you're going to take care of the size then. You're going to shrink it down if you need to. So not sure why this didn't stay all on one line, but again, PowerPoint, it's not image editing software. I'll have to see if I have Paint on my computer. I don't think I do, and I'll have to see if what it's like to draw text boxes and that kind of stuff in there. But these look really good, and I think the only problem there was this plus sign was messing us up because it was looking at it as some sort of mathematical equation, and then that was messing us up. And this one has another one of these comment things on it. So that would have helped that one. But anyway, we figured out that you were doing it right, except for I messed you up with using the plus sign. It never dawned on me that would mess you up, but there you go. Okay, so hopefully that makes you feel better because I couldn't stand it that I couldn't figure out why it wouldn't work for you. And again, I'm sorry PowerPoint isn't a better tool to use. I'll have to find something that we both have so we can go back and forth together and work on these images together.